Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Ohio U.S. Senate candidate Josh Mandel.
How you guys doing? Wow, look at this crowd! You all ready to go change our country? You know, when we started off this Senate campaign against Sherrod Brown, folks were saying this is a David versus Goliath type fight. They were saying this Josh Mandel guy, he's 35, he looks like he's 19. We were down 17 points. Around Thanksgiving, we were down 15 points. Around the Super Bowl, it was 12. Around spring training, it was 10. About a month ago, it was 7. New poll came out this week, has us up 2 points, 45 to 43. Because people understand, throughout Southwest Ohio, throughout our entire state, the only way we're going to change Washington is by changing the people we send there. Now, the fact that our race and the presidential race is so tight doesn't mean we put our feet up on the desk. It means the opposite. It means tomorrow, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, we got to leave it all in the field. Knocking on doors, making phone calls, talking to your coworkers at the water cooler, talking to your family and friends at barbecues, kids at the soccer games. We got to leave it all in the field. I've been proud to serve in the state treasurer's office, where we believe we're setting an example for how it should be done in Washington. While unfortunately in Washington, the U.S. credit rating was downgraded for the first time in American history. In the Ohio treasurer's office, we've earned the highest rating on our bonds, the highest rating on our investments. Our portfolio is up over $2 billion since the day we took office. And we think Washington can learn a little something from Ohio. Let me finish off by leaving you this commitment. There's going to be a day when I go to Washington and someone who's been there for a long time, many decades, puts his hand on my shoulder and says, "Listen, Josh, you better vote for this legislation or else I'm going to kick you off your committee." Or some lobbyist says, "Listen, Josh, you better vote for this legislation or else I'm going to shut off your fundraising." Some journalist says, "Listen, Josh, you better vote for this or else I'm going to write a bad editorial about you." My commitment to all of you is this. I will look that journalist, that lobbyist, that political boss in the eye and tell them I don't work for them. My boss is the 11.5 million people in the state of Ohio, and no one in Washington is going to push me around because I've been through tougher stuff than this. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the chairman of the Republican National Committee, Reince Priebus.
You guys ready to fire Barack Obama and save America? Are you ready to win? Are you ready to win? We are in a battle for freedom today in this country. It's the same battle that founded our country. It's the same battle that James Madison reaffirmed in the Bill of Rights. And it's the same battle that founded our party, and here we are today. We know that a country that has to surrender its sovereignty to its bondholders can't guarantee prosperity or freedom to anybody. And a country that buries its kids and its grandkids in an avalanche of debt can't rest in any vestige of the moral high ground. And a country controlled by China can't compete with China. This is our generation's rendezvous with destiny. This is our generation's time for choosing. And I got to tell you, you know what? We're the party, and Mitt Romney is the man that believes in the American dream. Do you believe? We actually embrace success. You know, when I grew up in a place called Kenosha, Wisconsin, you know what? When my dad, who was a union electrician, when we were kids and we drove around town and we saw that pretty house on the corner, just like your parents, my dad, he didn't point to that house and say, hey kids, look at these lousy people over here. He did what your parents did. He said, listen up, pal. If you work hard and you go to school, you're going to be in that house. And you know what, Mom and Dad? We pray that it's 3 times bigger. Here's the deal. In Ohio, there aren't Democratic parents in Ohio, and there aren't Republican parents in Ohio that believe in this glass half empty, life of Julia, Obamacare world that this president's trying to jam down our throats, and we're going to take care of that on Tuesday. We're not going to exchange the vision of our founding fathers with a European nightmare, are we? And I got news for you. Europe doesn't work in Europe, and it's not going to work here. So I got to ask you, are you ready to save America and hire Mitt Romney? Well, let's get to work. This is our time, and we're going to run through the finish line on Tuesday, Ohio. It's in your hands. Light the pathway to liberty and freedom right here in Ohio. Thank you, and God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the former mayor of New York City, Rudy Giuliani.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you. God bless you. Thank you very, very much for being here. This is very exciting, but before I start, since I started my morning in Staten Island with a lot of people who are out of their homes, and I'd ask you maybe to take just one moment to think about them, and then when you get a chance and you go home, and maybe you could donate a little money to the Red Cross or the Scylla Foundation or one of those places that's trying to find homes for these people. So if we take one moment to pray for them, I'd really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Well, you get a chance now to change the direction of this country. We're going to get it done right? And you know where it gets all done? Right here in Ohio. You have a chance to change the direction of America and move us in a direction of more jobs, of growth, of people who can have a future where they can help themselves, help their families, and go right up to the sky. Not a future of Obama dependency. No more of that. No Obama. They're content with 7.9% unemployment. They're real excited today because unemployment didn't go back to 8%. It's 7.9%. They should be ashamed of themselves. The greatest country on earth, the greatest country in the history of the world, and our growth is at 1.2%. He should resign. He told us he would resign if he did this poorly. Do you remember that? Do you remember that he told us that if he couldn't get employment above 6%, he wouldn't run for a second term? He lied. He has been a disaster, the worst president for our economy in our lifetime. He doesn't want a second term. He wants a second chance because he screwed it up the first time. And you know what stands in his way? You know what's going to stop him? Ohio! You're going to do it. You get a chance to vote for a team of two men who have been successes in the past. Boy, that'll be a change. Right? Governor Romney, very successful in business. They made fun of that. They tried to humiliate him because of that. You know something? If Governor Romney can have the success for America that he had for Bain Capital, thank God. Our people will be working again. Our people will be able to take care of themselves again. They'll be able to take care of their children again. If he can have the same success for us that he had in running the Olympics, maybe something like what happened to Libya could have been avoided. Maybe if we had a president who was paying attention, we wouldn't be going through all this investigation of what's being covered up about Libya. This is the heartland of America. You know that what happened in Libya is the result, at least, of incompetence. You think if we had elected John McCain, President of the United States, those people wouldn't have had the full resources of the United States of America there in Benghazi trying to save them? Well, we get a chance to right that wrong. We get a chance to elect a commander-in-chief who will not leave Americans behind. You get one chance at it. You get one chance at it. We got it wrong 4 years ago. Millions of Americans have paid the price of being unemployed. I believe some Americans who might not have to have died may have died because we had incompetence in the White House. You get one chance. We've got a great man running for president. He's got a great running mate. Mitt Romney has been a success at everything that he has done in the past. Paul Ryan has been a success at everything he's done in the past. And we'll have a vice president who can actually remember the state that he's in. That'll be a change. So you got it in your hands. You've got it in your hands. Ohio is the battleground. Ohio is the center. It's the center of our country. And on Tuesday night, when each one of those networks, with maybe one exception, gets to call Ohio for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, we're going to have our country moving in the right direction again. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Florida, Attorney General Pam Bondi.
It's great to be here in Ohio from Florida. Wow! Yay! You know, in a few short days, our entire country, our country, is going to change with two words: a single headline that reads, "Romney wins." And every single one of you here tonight play a huge part in that. Just like all these great people who have come in from all over the country to be here in Ohio, because we love Ohio. Because as Americans, we all believe that our economy can be saved. We believe that as Republicans, we will stand firm and give no ground to those who try to terrorize us and take our lives. You know, I've really gotten to know Mitt Romney on the campaign trail, and let me tell you, a leader isn't defined by a title. A leader is defined by experience. And that's what Mitt Romney brings to our country. He has spent his entire career building businesses, saving the Olympics, and he will be our next president. We have had 4 years of failure, and now we are ready for a true leader to bring our country back. And not only has Mitt Romney succeeded in the business world, but he's also chosen a brilliant running mate in Paul Ryan. But let me tell you something about the secret to Mitt's success. And I can tell you in 2 words, Ann Romney. And she is going to be a great first lady, isn't she? You know, who is going to bring jobs to our country and recover from the millions of jobs that have been lost? Romney. Who is going to make us energy independent instead of dependent on foreign powers? Romney. Who is going to balance a budget that is out of control and is going to affect our children? Romney. Who is going to stand tall next to our allies like Israel and stand firm against our enemies? Romney. And one that's very personal to me that I know quite a bit about. Who is going to, on the first day he's in office, begin the process of repealing Obamacare? Romney. We believe in our future. We believe in our country. We believe Mitt Romney is going to be the next United States president. And one more thing for the great state of Ohio. We believe that you're going to have a new and very welcome name, Romney Country. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, former United States Treasurer Rosario Marin.
Good evening, Ohio! I am so delighted to be here with all of you. When I was Treasurer of the United States, I came to Ohio a few times, and you were always warm to me. Is that because it's cold country? I got to tell you, this is amazing, and what you are going to do, you're going to change America, because all of you are going to vote for... Excellent. I know that. And I tell you, I go around the country and talk to people, and they're tired, and they're afraid. But not anymore. Not anymore, because Romney's coming. And Ohio's going to put him over. Yes. Arriba Romney! Viva Romney! Well, I tell you, this president, the one that we have right now in the White House, very sad, very sad. He said that he was going to unite America, and he has divided America. He said that he was going to bring unemployment down, and unemployment is higher today than when he took office. He said so many things, he made so many promises, and he has not kept them. So what I'm going to ask all of you, I'm going to ask to not only vote for Romney, but bring your family members, bring your neighbors, make sure that all of them vote for the governor. And we make this president what he said he was going to be, a one-term president, if he didn't get it solved. And he has not gotten it solved. So, Mr. President, that will be the only promise you will keep. And Ohio will be the one that will make sure you only keep that one promise. Now remember when he said that he was going to bring true change to Washington, D.C. And all of a sudden, he said that you cannot change Washington from within. Well, Mr. President, I am telling you this right here and right now. Ohio is going to make sure that you go back to Chicago with your community organizers' cronies and try to change Washington from Illinois. Ohio, we need you. The governor needs you. But more importantly, America needs you. And you will deliver for the next president of the United States. You will deliver Governor Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, and they will be the next president and the next vice president of the United States. God bless you. Thank you, Ohio.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the Commonwealth of Virginia, Governor Bob McDonnell.
Good evening. On behalf of the 8 million people of the Commonwealth of Virginia, the mother of presidents and the cradle of democracy, I want to say we bring you greetings from our fellow swing state and to ask you, are you ready to win? You know, President Obama has come to Virginia and he's come to Ohio and he said, if I don't win your states, I won't be the next president of the United States. Are you ready to help him keep that promise? I kind of thought you were. Well, it's great to be here in Boehner and Kasich and Mandel and Portman country. Are you ready to have another United States Senator, Josh Mandel? Okay, so I've come to make a deal with you. I'll make sure the great swing state of the Commonwealth of Virginia votes for Mitt Romney. You make sure the great state of Ohio votes for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, and we'll have a great celebration next Tuesday. Well, this is a very serious election, as you know. This is about restoring the American dream. This is about getting the greatest country on earth out of debt and back to work. This is about leadership for the future, for our kids and our grandkids. This is about the positive Romney, Reagan, Ryan optimism for an opportunity society against the Obama vision of an entitlement and guarantee society. It's a serious election. You know, there's only one candidate that's got ideas about getting our country back to work, The status quo of 8% unemployment rate for 4 years is unacceptable. We need a job creator, President Mitt Romney in the White House, to turn this country around. It is unsustainable and immoral to have added $6 trillion in debt over the last 4 years. We need a president that knows how to get us out of debt like Mitt Romney did in Massachusetts, to get us on the track to a balanced budget. It's time to elect Mitt Romney as president. We cannot accept the status quo of having the Obama administration continuing to attack our coal and gas and nuclear industry. We need a President Mitt Romney who will let us use all of our God-given natural resources to achieve American energy independence. And boy, do we need a president that understands the United States military. It's absolutely wrong to be cutting $1 trillion out of our defense budget when our men and women are fighting in Afghanistan. We need President Mitt Romney to restore the United States Navy and build up the military to be the strongest force for good in the world today. So for those handful of undecided voters in Ohio, I'd say this. The president has tried, and his policies haven't worked. They've failed America. And so it's time for real change and real leadership. Real leadership doesn't blame other people and make excuses and point fingers. Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan will take charge and not make excuses and get our great country out of debt and back to work. Are you ready to make that happen, Ohio? Because if you want change, you've got to hire a change agent. And look what Mitt Romney did, governor of Massachusetts, turning around the Olympics, creating jobs in the private sector. This is a man that understands the American dream because he's lived the American dream. So, I'll take care of Virginia, you take care of Ohio, do all that hard work the next couple of days. We'll have President Mitt Romney, Vice President Paul Ryan, Senator Josh Mandel, and we'll get this country back on track. God bless you. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Arizona, Senator John McCain.
All right, go get him, Senator.
Thank you, my friends. Thank you very much. Thank you. In 2008, after I lost, I slept like a baby. Sleep 2 hours, wake up and cry, sleep 2 hours. But this time, Ohio is going to be there for Mitt Romney for President of the United States, my friends. Could I just ask all of our veterans in the crowd to raise their hands so I can thank them and we can thank them for their service to the country. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. I'm hearing from veterans all over this country because they're disgusted, they're angered, and they're sick and tired of a commander-in-chief that doesn't lead and has allowed a debacle such as happened in Benghazi happen, where 4 brave Americans lost their lives and they didn't have to. My friends, beginning, during, and ending of that terrible period in Benghazi, the United States president was AWOL. And my friends, there was warnings. There was warnings of Al-Qaeda. There was warnings that there was already 2 attacks on our consulate. Everybody knew that they were in danger. Our brave ambassador's last message back was that they needed more security there. And what did the President of the United States do? No, he went to Las Vegas. And my friends, I'm hearing from veterans and military men and women all over the world. They want a commander-in-chief that they can believe in and trust, and that is Mitt Romney. My friends, Mitt Romney understands the leadership of the United States. He believes that we should lead from in front, not from behind. He understands, as Ronald Reagan did, the greatness of America and the necessity for American leadership. And I promise you that Mitt Romney, as President of the United States, will not go around the world and apologize for America. So, as we think of these brave Americans who are serving our country today, all over the world, they need a commander-in-chief that they can trust. They need a commander-in-chief that will lead from in front, not from behind. And they know that America's greatest days are ahead of us, but we need a commander-in-chief that they can trust and believe in and will not be responsible for the needless deaths of Americans. That's what Mitt Romney will do for this nation, and he will lead again. Our best days are ahead of us, and I promise you that Mitt Romney will give us a leadership again, that our men and women who are serving in the military will be proud and say, that's our commander-in-chief. God bless him. God bless you. God bless America.
You're live.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Alabama, Representative Arthur Davis.
Thank you. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, let me thank John McCain for reminding America what a national hero looks and sounds like. Now, 4 years ago, ladies and gentlemen, the president sounded so good. Remember, the rise of the oceans would begin to slow. The planet would begin to heal. No, I don't know about the oceans. I'll ask Mayor Bloomberg and Al Gore about that. And I don't think the planet is healed when murderers are standing in front of our embassy in Benghazi and murdering 4 of our people. The planet is not healed. And remember, we are the ones we have been waiting for. Well, the one who told us that he was the one we have been waiting for has a different tune now. The ones we were waiting for say, oh, the presidency is so hard. Even the presidential pension is not big enough. When you get elected president, they say, oh, the other party's mean to you. People say mean things about you. So, ladies and gentlemen, our political adversaries like to say that we don't have compassion. So may we have a little bit of compassion when President Obama says the job is too hard. And may we say to him, Mr. President, if you don't know how to run America, get out of the way and we'll elect somebody who does. Mr. President, if you don't know how to bring America together, if you don't know how to build a coalition, get out of the way and we'll elect Mitt Romney because he does. Now, one other thing, ladies and gentlemen, the President of the United States likes to talk. The records actually tell you no presidents ever made more campaign speeches. And we just had 3 debates, 270 minutes of free airtime. The president has said so much, but let me tell you 3 words he has not said. I have succeeded. Let me tell you some other words he's never said. I've kept my promises. So, ladies and gentlemen, if you're serious about the future of your country, and Ohio, you control the future of our country right now. If you're serious about the future of your country. Do not put back in office a man who has not been who he said he was, who has not done what he said he would do, and has not made America the country he promised he would make. 4 days. It's in your hands, Ohio. Take this country back, and let's get America moving again. God bless you.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of New Hampshire, Senator Kelly Ayotte.
Hey, Ohio! Great to be with you. I bring greetings from the Live Free or Die state, New Hampshire. What a great state motto, huh? I believe that this is the most important election in my lifetime. How many of you believe that this is the most important election in our lifetime? There's so much at stake for our country and on what direction we take. And Ohio, you can make the difference for our country. Winning Ohio for Mitt Romney means that America will be strong and that we will go forward on a path of fiscal responsibility, getting people working again, and yes, a strong military. That's what you can bring to our country, Ohio, so let's go get them. When I think about this last 4 days, I think of 2 words, budget and Benghazi. Yes, 2 words. Those 2 words, when you think about them, the more you hear about them, it really makes you sad for America and those that we left behind. And it also tells you what this president has been so disengaged from, his true failures of leadership over the last 4 years. Think about the budget. The budget he introduced was so irresponsible. 3 years in a row, he couldn't get a vote from his own party for his budget. Shocking, isn't it? Absolutely shocking. You know, he promised he would cut the deficit in half. And I have to tell you, this president has added more debt than any other president in the history of our country. It's so disturbing. I ran for office in 2010 because I'm the mother of 2 children. I have an 8-year-old and a 5-year-old, and I am so sickened by the amount of debt that this president has added to our country. This election is not just about all of us. It's about the future that we are going to leave for the next generation, and they deserve better than what we have seen under this president. We got an unemployment report today. The unemployment rate went up again. It is higher today than when the president came into office. That is unacceptable, and America can do better. Finally, this issue of Benghazi, a national security failure before, during, and after, with the multiple changing stories that we have heard from this administration. America deserves a president that is going to protect all Americans and be straight with us about what happens. I can assure you that Mitt Romney is going to be tough on terrorists, and he will call it for what it is. So, Ohio, please, we have in our nominee, Mitt Romney, a man who can clean up this budget mess, a man who can get Americans working together, a man in Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, a team that is going to bring America together, not divide us. You hold the future of our country in your hands, and we know that you're going to bring a victory home for Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan. Let's go do it. Let's go do it. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Louisiana, Governor Bobby Jindal.
Hello, Ohio. This is cold for a Louisiana boy, so I'm going to keep this short. You've heard already tonight about the broken promises from this president. His broken promises on energy, on the budget, on health care, on the economy. No wonder he offers the most vacuous, meaningless slogan for his campaign. What's his slogan? Forward. Forward to what? This president had 3 debates with Governor Romney, did not spend 1 minute talking about his plans for the next 4 years. He can't defend his record, so he comes up with a slogan that says forward. What does that mean? Forward to more debt on top of the $16 trillion? Forward to more Medicare cuts on top of $700 billion in Medicare cuts? Forward to more tax increases on the job creators and small business owners? Forward to more and higher health care premiums? Forward to policies that make us more dependent on other countries for our energy? Forward to more government borrowing and spending more borrowing from China? Forward to a more socialist-type government like they've got in Europe? Forward to more apologies for America overseas and at home? But you know, you've got to give credit to this president. You're going 80 miles an hour towards a brick wall. Who in the world would vote for forward? But that's exactly what we're doing with this unsustainable debt. We are mortgaging our children's and grandchildren's future. He offers us forward because he doesn't want to talk about the reality. He doesn't want to talk about today. Doesn't want to talk about these last 4 years. He would rather talk about forward, up, down, circular, backwards, anything about the reality. He's trying to distract us. He's trying to divert attention. He's trying to divide us. He's trying to distort Governor Romney's record. He wants to do everything but talk about these last 4 years and his lack of plans for the next 4 years. Let's be honest. We can't afford another 4 more years of this president in the White House. You know, this president has done a much better job getting his job than he's actually done doing his job once he was there in the White House. Forward is a great marketing slogan, but we can't afford another 4 more years of on-the-job training in Washington, D.C. We need a proven leader. Governor Romney, Paul Ryan, they offer the future, they offer the direction, they offer the change that America needs to reclaim the American dream for our children and our grandchildren. Let's help President Obama pack his boxes and move forward out of the White House. God bless y'all and thank y'all very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, from the state of Florida, Senator Marco Rubio.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Well, I love being in Ohio. This is just like Florida. The weather's just like Florida. My refrigerator in Florida, maybe. I've been here all day with your next U.S. Senator, Josh Mandel. And in a few moments, you're going to hear from the next President of the United States, Mitt Romney, and our next Vice President, Paul Ryan. There's not a lot left to say. The truth is that being here tonight is like preaching to the proverbial choir, and this is a big choir. We know what this election is about. What I love most about elections for president every 4 years is that it reminds us of what's at stake. It reminds us of how special and unique the American story has been. There's never been a place like this in all the history of the world. The world has about 6,000 years of recorded human history, give or take a year. And throughout the history of mankind, almost everyone's been poor and powerless. In most societies that have ever existed, the same people kept winning and everybody else was under them. Until America. America changed that because we believe here that every single human being is born with certain rights that come from God, not from government, not from the president. That belief gave us the American free enterprise system, and that's what's at stake in this election now. Because before us is a very clear choice between two very different futures. The road that we're on now is a road that diminishes the American free enterprise system, and as a result threatens to rob us from so many of the things that make us different and special. But the road that Mitt Romney has presented us with, the choice that he has given us, is one that re-embraces the pillars of our greatness and allows us to leave for our children what they deserve to inherit, the single greatest nation in the history of all mankind. After this tonight, I'm heading back to Florida, and I have good news for you. We're going to win Florida. And now I ask you for a favor. Go out and win Ohio. And if you do, you will be able, years from now, to look your children and your grandchildren in the eye and tell them that, like every generation before us, our time for choosing came. And when it did, we chose the things that made us special. We chose the things that made us great. We chose to be different and better. And because of that, they inherited what we inherited. The greatest nation that man has ever known. God bless you. Let's go win.
Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome to the stage Dr. Ben Romney, Mr. Craig Romney, Mr. Josh Romney, Mr. Matt Romney, Mr. Tag Romney, Senator Kelly Ayotte, Senator Kay Bailey Hutchinson, Mr. Hector Barreto, Congressman Marsha Blackburn, Florida Attorney General Pam Bondi, Governor Sam Brownback, Governor Phil Bryant, Miss Bay Buchanan, Congressman Jason Chaffetz, Secretary Elaine Chao, Senator Norm Coleman, Miss Barbara Comstock, Congressman Arthur Davis, Mayor Rudy Giuliani, Senator Lindsey Graham, Lieutenant Governor Carrie Healy, Governor Dave Heineman, Governor Bobby Jindal, Treasurer Rosario Marin, Mrs. Cindy McCain, Senator John McCain, Governor Bob McDonnell, Mr. Derek Parra, Governor Rick Perry, Chairman Reince Priebus, Congresswoman Martha Roby, Senator Marco Rubio, Senator Rick Santorum, Congressman Aaron Schock, Governor John Sununu, Senator Jim Talent, Senator John Thune, Senator Pat Toomey, and Governor Scott Walker, Congressman Mike Turner, and Congressman Steve Chabot. Ladies and gentlemen, from the great state of Ohio, Lieutenant Governor Mary Taylor.
Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan, the next president and vice president of the United States. As always, a great crowd in Westchester, Ohio. This is outstanding. You know, I've done a lot of campaign rallies over the last couple of weeks, and I've decided that I have kind of boiled my reasons for supporting Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan down to 3 very simple reasons. And I'd like to go through them quickly with you. The first, President Obama comes to Ohio and likes to take credit for getting our state back on track. But we know that's not true. It's the work that Governor Kasich and I have done with all of you to balance our budget, close our $8 billion budget hole, and get our state back on track. We didn't raise taxes, we cut taxes. Here's my second reason, and this one's personal for me. My youngest son is 18 years old, and he voted for the first time this year in a presidential election. A couple weeks ago, before a Friday night football game, he's a senior in high school, his friends were gathering at our house, and they were upstairs in his room, and I decided, I wonder what they're talking about. Girls. The football game, the next concert they're going to go to, maybe Kid Rock. But you know what? I went upstairs and I was just listening outside the door, and they didn't know I was there. You know what they were talking about? This election. Because they know their future is riding on 4 more days. Okay, here's my last reason, if I could talk to just to the women in the audience, and I see there are just a few women here tonight. You know, they've talked, or the Democrats have talked a lot lately about this war on women. Well, let me tell you what I think the war on women is. For the first time in 17 years, we have more women living in poverty. We have nearly 6 million women unemployed today. And over 400,000 of those women have lost their jobs in the last 4 years. Now that's a war on women, if you ask me. We want jobs. That's great. Okay, guys, you can come back to the conversation. This is the last and number 3, and it applies to all of us here tonight. After this last debate, I asked myself one simple question, and I'll ask you that question tonight. Who do we trust as parents and grandparents to protect our sons and daughters when they're sent to foreign lands to protect our country? My answer, Mitt Romney. And this is my final message to our president currently, Barack Obama. If you're a country music fan, you may recognize the lyrics. You don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So please welcome our next speaker, the governor of the great state of Ohio, John Kasich.
Hey, do you like what's going on in Ohio? We're growing jobs and helping families. Well, let me tell you, what we're doing in Ohio is what Mitt Romney's going to do in Washington and get this country back on track again. You know, we really face, ladies and gentlemen, and boys and girls, and by the way, I've never seen so many young people at campaign rallies. And I'll tell you, I think what it's all about. We, as Americans, recognize that we have 2 paths to choose. We've seen what the last 4 years gives us. And the last 4 years gives us more government that's inefficient, doesn't work very well. It gives us the possibility of even higher taxes.
And you know, there's a lot of reason why I hate higher taxes. One of the biggest reasons is I know where the money goes in that city. And it's time to clean it up down there. The last thing we need are higher taxes. And then the regulators, instead of embracing the small business people who give our families the chance and the opportunity to get jobs, they pound on us. They pound on small business people and they stunt our growth. But we have another choice here tonight, and that's why there's so many people here tonight. You know, you're all here because you know it's about that American dream. You know government is not the answer, that the government is a last resort and not a first resort. And we know we're stronger when we run America from the bottom up, when people have more money in their pocket, when families have more wealth, and when people get jobs. And the greatest moral issue in America today are jobs. And the reason is because mom and dad are working, the family's stronger, the children are stronger. It all works for a stronger America and stronger communities. That is what Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan will give us. Stronger families and stronger communities. And you know, it's not theory. I have to tell you, ladies and gentlemen, if there's anything we need in government today, it's people who know how to create jobs. We need that, and Mitt Romney's been a successful job creator, and when they attack him, those are people that don't understand how to rise America. He's a proven job creator, then he went into government. And he took the state of Massachusetts from deficits to surplus, from job losses to job gains. And let's think about his pure leadership capability in those Olympics. You see, he didn't lead with a title, and he didn't lead with anything other than the ability of a human being to raise the bar of everybody else. You know what? My kids are 12 years old. I want an America that will give the next generation more than the last generation gave to us. That's the greatest American tradition that we celebrate across our great country. And ladies and gentlemen, I know he's going to deliver that. You know, I'm not for Mitt Romney just because he happens to be a Republican. I'm for Mitt Romney because he will lead to a brighter and stronger America and a brighter and stronger Ohio. We need the wind at our back, not in our face. There's a lot of polls out there, a lot of polls, a lot of people talking about what's going to happen. Well, you know, I've thought about it long and hard, and I don't spin a lot. I kind of do it straight from the shoulder. Look around. Look at this crowd. Look at this enthusiasm. And not just here. Not just here, but all across this state of Ohio. Yes, the world is watching us. The world is watching Ohio, and I've got a message for the world that's watching. We are going to elect Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan President and Vice President of the United States. And it is my pleasure to introduce the chairman of the Romney campaign in Ohio. I think he did a pretty good job preparing Mitt Romney to debate Barack Obama, our great United States Senator Rob Portman.
Wow. Southwest Ohio looks a lot like Romney-Ryan country to me tonight. Folks, I know it's cold out there, but we're freezing for a reason, aren't we? It's about our families, it's about our communities, and it's about our country. 4 more days to avoid 4 more years. It's worth it. Now, as the chair of the campaign here in Ohio, I got to ask you a couple things. The first one is go ahead and vote. In Ohio, you can early vote. Jane and I did it today down in Hamilton County. The Board of Elections is open tomorrow from 8 o'clock until 2 o'clock. It's open on Sunday. It's open on Monday. Tell me you're going to go bank your vote. You going to do that? I need you to commit to it. That frees you up on Election Day to get more people to the polls. Doesn't that make sense? Now, second, we got to put up more signs. We got to make some more phone calls. We got to do more door-to-door. Will you commit to do that over the next 4 days? Of course you will. Look, we're in the fourth quarter. It's getting toward the end of the fourth quarter. The game is tied. We're in the red zone. We've got the football. We've got the momentum. Are we going to take Mitt Romney and Paul Ryan over the goal line? Of course we are. Folks, no one wants Mitt Romney to win more than the Speaker of the House, John Boehner. You know why? Because he and Mitt Romney share the same passion, and that's a passion to restore the American promise and bring back the American dream. He needs a partner in the Oval Office who will do that with him. Ladies and gentlemen, Butler County's own Speaker John Boehner.
Westchester! You know, I've been on the road for the last 6 weeks from one end of the country to the other, helping my candidates, helping our ticket. And every place I go, people ask me, well, how are we going to do in Ohio? Well, by the looks of things tonight, I think we're in Romney-Ryan country right here. You know, I couldn't be more proud of the team that we've got on the ballot here in Ohio this year. Mitt Romney, Paul Ryan, Josh Mandel, Sharon Kennedy, Steve Shabbat, Brad Wenstrup, a team ready to bring America back. Now, you know, a lot of you know that I grew up not far from here. My wife grew up not far from here, but we moved here almost 38 years ago. Raised our daughters here, moved my business here. This is our home. And I couldn't think of a prouder time for Westchester, Ohio than tonight. But you know, when I was running my business here, I saw how government could make it harder. I saw what government could do to stifle job creation. This is the heartland of America. And in some ways, this is where it all started for Paul Ryan as well. You know, we got involved to help save the American dream. And 4 years ago, people gave Barack Obama a chance to do just that. They believed him when he said he'd turn things around. He talked about hope. He talked about change. He talked about post-partisan politics. And all we've got from the American people now is they're hoping for change. So here we are 4 years later. The American people are still asking the question, where are the jobs? We've got less jobs and we've got less freedom. Do we want 4 more years like that? Can we afford 4 more years like that? Hell no, we can't! We need more jobs and we need more freedom. Simple as that. Listen. Tonight is a proud moment for our town, but it's also a call to action. If you haven't voted yet, go vote early. Don't wait until Tuesday. Go vote early. You can knock on doors. You can make phone calls. You can go to my office. We need your help over these next 4 days if we're going to bring this thing home. Listen, Ohio is where this closing push begins. And this is Ohio where this election victory is going to be won. You know, 22 years ago, I was a candidate for Congress for the first time. And you know, if you're me, you got a handicap trying to run for a political office because, when your name looks like Beaner, Bonner, Boner, they're not going to vote for you unless they can say your name. But you know, I was in this race against an incumbent congressman that was in trouble. But I was also against a former congressman who wanted his job back, and his name was Tom Kindness. Nobody thought I could win. A lot of you in this audience helped me win that first race for Congress. But 22 years ago, right now, there was a 20-year-old college student at Miami of Ohio putting yard signs. It's kind of hard for a Xavier Musketeer to call out the Miami guys. But 22 years ago tonight, I had a 20-year-old Miami student named Paul Ryan putting yard signs up for me in Trenton, Ohio. I've known Paul Ryan a long time, one of the most decent, honest guys you'll ever meet, one of the smartest guys in Congress, knows more about pro-growth economic policies than anybody in the Congress, somebody that can help lead our country. But he's also a great father and a great husband. Help me in welcoming the next Vice President of the United States, Paul Ryan, and wife Jana.
Wow. O-H. I love that. Thank you so much. Thank you for waiting in line. Thank you for coming here tonight. Thank you for knocking on the doors, for making the phone calls. Thank you, Ohio, for delivering your state for the next President of the United States, Mitt Romney. I want to thank my speaker, our speaker, John Boehner, for being the speaker. I want to thank these other Buckeye leaders, Rob Portman, John Kasich. These are great leaders. Thank you guys for what you've done for our country. And I want to introduce you to my best and better half, my wife, Jana. I got my lucky Buckeye with me tonight. Rob guarantees me that this wins elections. You know, while we're celebrating tonight the fact that we can come together and save this country and put us on the right track, let's keep our fellow Americans in the Northeast who are suffering in the wake of the storm in our prayers. We can go to redcross.org and make a donation if we can. I would encourage you to do that, because that's what we do in America. We come together in our moment of need, and that's what we owe our friends in the Northeast. This is a big election. We have a really big choice ahead of us. We're not just picking a president for 4 more years. We are choosing for at least a generation what kind of people we're going to be and what kind of country we're going to give to our kids and our grandkids. And Ohio, you know it. You know you're the linchpin. You're the battleground of battlegrounds. Ohio, you going to help us win this thing? That's exactly right. Look, 4 years ago, that's right. 4 years ago, President Obama said he would do all these great things. Hope and change. He'd cut the deficit in half. He'd bring everybody together. The deficit's doubled. It's the most partisan time we've had. And just look at the jobs that didn't occur. We got a new jobs report today. Unemployment is higher than the day he took office. You got 23 million Americans struggling for work today. 15% of our fellow citizens living in poverty today. That's the highest in a generation. All those jobs he said he'd create if he just borrowed a lot of money and gave it to all these interest groups, it didn't materialize. We have a jobs crisis. Wouldn't it be nice to actually have a job creator in the White House for a change? 4 years ago, I want to read you a quote. If you don't have fresh ideas, use stale tactics to scare voters. If you don't have a record to run on, then you paint your opponent as someone people should run from. You make a big election about small things. You know who that was 4 years ago? Okay, so you do know who that was 4 years ago. That's what President Obama, when he was candidate, said 4 years ago. And that's exactly what he has become. Here's the good news. We don't have to take this anymore. The good news is we don't have to settle for this. We can do better than this. We need leadership. We need Mitt Romney as our next president of the United States. This is a time for big ideas. This is a time for a real reform, for a real recovery. This is who Mitt Romney is. Look at this man's life, achievement, leadership. Look at what he's done in the private sector. He helped create tens of thousands of jobs. By the way, being successful in business, that's a good thing. We want that. We believe in success. We want more of it. This is a man who reached across the aisle, who didn't demonize and demagogue Democrats. He worked with them. He found common ground. He got things done. He balanced the budget without raising taxes. That's the kind of leadership we need. Ladies and gentlemen, this is big, and it's bigger than just paycheck issues. It's the most important election in our lifetimes, no matter what generation we come from. It's about the American idea. No matter who you are or where you come from, in this country, because of freedom, because of liberty, because of self-determination, because of those timeless founding principles, because the government is supposed to work for us and not the other way around, we have the American idea. That's what this country's built on. Our rights come from nature and nature's God, not from government. That's the American idea. Our founders created this vision. They founded the country on it, and every one of these veterans that are here in the audience, they put on the uniform, they fought for us, they sacrificed, and they preserved it for us, and we thank them for what they've done for our country. This is our moment, Ohio. This is the time when we want to wake up on Wednesday morning and look back and see that we met the moment. We want to make sure that we talk to everybody we know who thought hope and change sounded good, but they now know it didn't work. This is the time to elect a leader. This is the moment where the man and the moment are meeting perfectly. Mitt Romney is the right man for this moment. We can do this. We know what we need to do. We are not going to duck these tough issues. We are not going to run away from our problems. We are going to tackle this country's problems before they tackle us, and we're not going to spend the next 4 years blaming other people. We're going to take responsibility and fix this mess in Washington. We are not going to try to transform this country into something it was never intended to be. Look, I spent 4 great years of my life right in Butler County up Route 27 at Miami of Ohio. This is a good place. We know who we are. We know what we believe in. We know what made this country great. And ladies and gentlemen, I am so honored, I am so proud to introduce to you the next President and First Lady of the United States, Mitt and Ed Romney. So much. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ohio. Thank you. I know who you're here to see, and she's here right next to me, my sweetheart, Ann Romney.
Hi, everybody. Oh, my gosh. This is quite a crowd. Who's going to win next Tuesday? And is Ohio going to do it for us? What a thrill for us to be here. What a thrill for me to stand next to the man that's going to be the next President of the United States. This is a man that will not fail. This is a man that is going to turn around America, and I'm going to be so happy to be by his side when I can watch and see him do that. So thank you all very much.
Thank you so much. What a gathering tonight. I want to thank you for joining Paul and me and our families and our friends tonight. You're sending a message tonight to the entire nation. Thank you. And by the way, thanks to Kid Rock and the other entertainers who've come for us tonight, and thanks to the extraordinary team of national leaders who have gathered here. Look at this team here. Now, you probably heard they've gathered here tonight because they're about to fan out across the entire nation to make sure that we have victory on November 6th. And some comic in the team has named us the Romney-Ryan Real Recovery Road Rally. I got it out. That's R6 for short, and you're going to see them going across the country. They're going to make sure that we win. Ohio is a center place. We're going to make sure this is the place we take, and we're going to take back the White House. Now, it's good to be in Ohio with Governor Kasich and Lieutenant Governor Taylor and with Senator Portman and to be able to be in John Boehner's hometown. Your state is the one I'm counting on, by the way. This is the one we have to win. Now, I want to take just a moment to remind all of us that there are many, many of our fellow Americans who are suffering from the devastation caused by Hurricane Sandy. And our thoughts and prayers go out to them. And if you're able to help, please donate to the Salvation Army or the American Red Cross. We're a generous people. Don't forget them. Thank you.
And let me tell you, it's great to be here with the next Vice President of the United States, Paul Ryan, and his wife, Janet. You know, next to Ann Romney, Paul Ryan is the best choice I've made. You know that? Now, tonight we enter the final weekend of the campaign. At Obama rallies, they're saying 4 more years. We have a different cry, of course. What is it? Exactly right. Oh, thank you. Look what I've started. We are so very grateful to you and to people across the country for all that you've given of yourselves to this campaign. And as you know, this is not just about Paul and me. It's about America and the future we're going to leave to our children. We thank you, and we ask you to stay at it all the way until victory on Tuesday night. Now, I have a question for you. Are you finally ready for real change? As you know, 4 years ago, candidate Barack Obama promised to do so very much, but he's fallen so very short. He promised to be a post-partisan president, but he became the most partisan of our presidents, blaming, attacking, dividing. Then he was going to focus on creating jobs. Instead, he focused on Obamacare, which killed jobs. He said he was going to cut the federal deficit in half, but then he doubled it. He said that the unemployment rate would now be at 5.2%. Today we learned it's at 7.9%. And by the way, that's 9 million jobs short of what was promised. Unemployment is higher today than when he took office. He promised that he'd propose a plan to save Social Security and Medicare from insolvency. He didn't. And rather, he raided $716 billion from Medicare for his vaunted Obamacare plan. He said he'd lower health care premiums for the average family by $2,500 a year. Now they're higher by $3,000 a year. And gasoline, the American family pays $2,000 a year more for gasoline than when the president was elected. You know, he also said he'd work across the aisle on the most important issues. He has not met on the economy or on the budget or on jobs with either the Republican leader of the House or the Senate since July. So instead of bridging the divide, he's made it wider. Now, how is it that he's fallen so far short of what he promised? In part, it's because he'd never led before, never worked across the aisle, never truly understood how jobs are created in the real economy. And so today he makes new promises, promises he'll be unable to keep because he admits he's going to stay on the same path. The same course we've been on will not lead to a better destination, Mr. President. The same path means $20 trillion in debt. It means crippling unemployment, stagnant take-home pay, depressed home values, and a devastated military. And unless we change, we may be looking at another recession. The question of this election comes down to this. Do you want more of the same, or do you want real change? Now, President Obama promised change, but he couldn't deliver it. I promised change, and I have a record of achieving it. I actually built a business, and I turned around another business. I helped put an Olympics back on track. And with a Democrat legislature, I helped turn my state from deficit to surplus, from job losses to job growth, and from higher taxes to higher take-home pay. That's why I'm running for president. I know how to change the course the nation is on. I know how to get us to a balanced budget. I know how to build jobs and rising take-home pay. And by the way, accomplishing real change is not something I just talk about. It's something I've done. It's what I'm going to do when I'm president of the United States, with your help. If you believe we can do better, if you believe America should be on a better course, if you're tired of being tired, then I ask you to vote for real change, and Paul Ryan will bring real change to America from day one. Now, I know that when we're elected, the economy and American jobs will still be stagnant, but I'm not going to waste any time complaining about my predecessor. I won't spend my effort trying to pass partisan legislation unrelated to economic growth. From day one, I'm going to go to work to help Americans get back to work. People across the country are responding to our 5-part plan to create jobs, and you've heard about it before. Part 1 is taking full advantage of our energy resources. On day one, I'm going to act to increase the number of leases and permits to drill on federal lands. I'm going to act to speed approval of the Keystone Pipeline from Canada. And I'm going to revisit coal regulations that were designed by the administration to strangle the industry. So on day one, we'll be closer to energy independence. Now, second, I'm going to move to boost trade, especially in Latin America, and I'm going to ask Congress for trade promotion authority. That's a power every president has used or requested since it was first created in 1974, with the exception of President Obama. And I will finally designate China as a currency manipulator. It's time for trade to work for America. Third, I'm going to send Congress the Retraining Reform Act to make sure that every worker who feels left behind in this economy can get the skills and the chance for a good-paying job. We deserve it. Fourth, I'm going to move to tackle out-of-control spending. I'm going to send Congress the first of several fundamental reforms. The first will be called the Down Payment on Fiscal Sanity Act, to immediately cut, not just slow the rate of growth, but actually cut non-security discretionary spending by 5%. And by the way, I'm not just going to take office on January 20th. I'm going to take responsibility for that office as well. And number 5, I'm going to act to boost small business and all business. I'm going to issue executive orders aimed straight at the problems that are holding this economy back. The first will grant state waivers from Obamacare to every state so we can begin its repeal. The launch of a sweeping review of all Obama-era regulations will follow, with an eye to eliminating or repairing any regulation that kills jobs or hurts small business. And by the way, every entrepreneur, every small business person, every job creator will know that for the first time in 4 years, the government of the United States likes them and loves the jobs and higher wages they bring to our fellow Americans. We've almost forgotten what a real recovery looks like, what Americans can achieve when we limit government instead of limiting the dreams of our fellow Americans. And that's going to change. Now you can choose your future. You know what you need to know. You can stay on the path of the last 4 years, or you can choose real change. You know that if the president were to be reelected, he would still be unable to work with the people in Congress. He's ignored them. He's attacked them, blamed them. The debt ceiling, it's going to come up again, and shut down and default will be threatened, chilling the economy. The president was right the other day when he said he can't change Washington from the inside. We're going to take him at his word and give him a chance to be outside Washington soon. Now, when I'm elected president, I'm going to work with Republicans and Democrats in Congress. I'm going to meet regularly with their leaders. I'll endeavor to find those good men and women on both sides of the aisle who care more about the country than about politics. Together, we're going to put the nation on track to a balanced budget, to reform our tax code, and to finally reaffirm our commitment to financial responsibility. It's got to happen. Now, you know, if the president were to be reelected, he'd continue his war on coal and oil and natural gas. He'd send billions of more dollars to his favorite solar and wind companies. And all of this will guarantee higher energy prices at the pump and fewer jobs. Today, gas costs twice as much as it did when President Obama was elected. When I'm elected, we're going to change course on energy. I know just how much energy means to middle-class families. We can help hold down prices at the pump, grow new energy and manufacturing jobs, and get North American energy independence. Now, you know, if the president's reelected, he's going to continue to promote government and demote businesses. He chose, by the way, his own Jobs Council. It was made up of the business leaders he selected. You know how long it's been since he met with them? 9 months. 9 months. Now, you see, I see free enterprise as a means for people to fulfill their dreams. Yesterday, I was in Richmond, Virginia. I met Rhoda Elliott. She's been running her family restaurants for years. It's a business that's been in her family for 82 years. At its high point, she employed 200 people at Bill's Barbecue. She just closed it down, telling me that regulations and taxes and Obamacare and the effects of the Obama economy put her out of business after 82 years. She teared up. This wasn't about money. This is about the future for her family and for her family of employees. Look, I want to help the hundreds of thousands of dreamers like Rhoda, and I will. Now, you know that if the president is reelected, he's going to say every good thing he can think of about education. But in the final analysis, he'll do what his largest campaign supporters, the public sector's unions, will insist upon. And your kids will be in the same schools with the same results. When I'm president, I'm going to be a voice of the children and their parents. There's no union for the PTA. I'm going to make sure parents have the information they need to know if their school is succeeding or failing, and I want them to have the choice they need to pick the school where their child can succeed. Now, I've watched over these last few months as our campaign has gathered, well, the strength of a movement. It's not only the size of crowds like this, it's the depth of our shared conviction, our readiness for new possibilities, the sense that our work is soon to begin. It's made me strive more to be worthy of your support, to campaign as I would govern, to speak for the aspirations of all Americans. I learned as governor of Massachusetts that the best achievements are shared achievements. I learned that respect and goodwill go a long way and are usually returned in kind. That's how I'll conduct myself as president. I'll reach out to both sides of the aisle. I'll bring people together, do big things for the common good. I won't just represent one party. I'll represent one nation. I'll try to show the best of America at a time when only our best will do. Now, throughout this campaign, President Obama has tried to convince you that these last 4 years have been a success. He's been floating a plan for the next 4 years. He wants to take all the things he did in his first term, the stimulus, the borrowing, Obamacare, all the rest, and then try them all over again. But our big dreams will not be satisfied with the small agenda that's already failed us. And today, do you see what President Obama said today? He asked his supporters to vote for revenge. For revenge. Instead, I asked the American people to vote for love of country. It is absolutely essential that together we lead America to a better place than that. We're 4 days away from a fresh start. 4 days away from the first day of a new beginning. My conviction that better days are ahead is not based on promises and hollow rhetoric, but on solid plans and proven results. and it's based on an unshakable faith in the American spirit. If there's anyone worried that the last 4 years are the best we can do, if there's anyone who fears that the American dream is fading, if there's anyone who wonders whether better jobs and better paychecks are things of the past, I have a clear and unequivocal message. With the right leadership, America is coming roaring back. We are Americans. We can do anything. The only thing that stands between us and some of the best years we've ever known is a lack of leadership. And that's why we have elections. This Tuesday is a moment to look into the future and imagine what we can do, to put the past 4 years behind us and start building a new future. And you saw the differences when President Obama and I were side to side in our debates. He says it has to be this way. I say it can't stay this way. He's offering excuses. I've got a plan. I can't wait for us to get started. He's hoping we'll settle. Americans don't settle. We build. We aspire. We listen to that voice inside us that says we can do better. A better job. A better life for our kids. A bigger, better country. That better life is out there. It's waiting for us. Our destiny is in the hands of the American people. 4 more days. 4 more days. Four more days and we can get to work rebuilding our country, restoring our confidence and renewing our conviction. Confidence that we're on a solid path to steady improvement. Confidence that college graduates 4 years from now will find better jobs. Confidence that single moms working 2 jobs today will have a shot at a better job tomorrow. On November 6th, we come together for a better future. On November 7th, we'll get to work. We'll reach across. We're going to reach across the street to that neighbor with the other yard sign. And we'll reach across the aisle in Washington to people of good faith in that other party. There's so much more than just this being our moment. It's America's moment of renewal and purpose and optimism. We've journeyed far and wide in this great campaign for America's future. Now we're almost home. One final push will get us there. We've known many long days and short nights, and we are so very, very close. The door to a brighter future is there. It's open. It's waiting for us. I need your vote. I need your help. Walk with me. Walk together. You know, some time ago, Ann and I watched a show on television. It had a fictional football team that would go out of the locker room and touch a sign as they headed out to the gridiron where they would inevitably play teams that were ranked higher than they. And the sign they touched said, clear eyes, full hearts, can't lose. I'm convinced that the people of Ohio have clear eyes. You understand what's at stake. I know you have full hearts. You love this country and its future. And I know we can't lose on Tuesday. We're going to win. I need your help. God bless you. God bless the United States of America. Thank you so very much. Thank you.